Presented by Zaxby's Chicken on the Bypass in Danville. Good evening. Welcome to week number 7 of the Zaxby's High School Football Preview Show. We being Tim and myself, live from Somerset High School. Well, not the high school, it's the middle school, but where the high school football field is. And ready for another high school football Friday night here in the Hometown Radio Network. And Danville and Somerset, one of the 5 games that we're keeping track of amongst our area teams this week. Along with Danville and Somerset, Mercer County at Casey County. I plan to talk about that game a little bit towards the tail end of the show, so hang with us if you're a Mercer County Titan fan. We'll talk certainly about that game. Lincoln County is at Boyle County tonight. That's homecoming for Boyle County. It's also homecoming here for Somerset as Danville comes to town. But the Lincoln County, Boyle County, that game on Z105. Garrett County is at Marion County tonight, and Anderson County is at Collins tonight. So you've got 5 games, 6 teams. You got 2 area teams playing each other in Lincoln County and Boyle County. I guess actually 2 area games with 2 teams playing each other, Mercer County, Casey County as well. So the Zaxby's High School Football Preview Show live tonight from the Briar Patch. We are in the Somerset press box, and I've been here multiple times, and every time I come in, I'm impressed at how nice the press box is. This is what you would consider like calling a game from a small college or something like that. I mean, they've got TVs mounted here in the press box. You can like watch the instant replay of the plays that just happened. You know, they got hardwire internet. They got a fridge. They always have like a buffet up here. Every time I've been here, they have like chili and pimento cheese sandwiches, Tim, and like dessert, and they make you eat. It's like going to your grandma's house where they don't want you to leave hungry. And so I'm always impressed with the way things are done here at Somerset. And this is your first time, Tim, seeing the new field, right?
Yes, it is.
Right?
Yeah, I've always,
not really new anymore, but it's new to you. First time you've been here. And, the kids' field at the end of the end zone where the kids can play their Friday night game while the high school team's playing their game. So it's always a lot of fun coming here to Somerset.
Yeah, it is. And really, I've been in the stands, I've been on the sidelines, and then being up here in this area, this is, we were kind of talking a minute ago, this is probably the nicest press box that, besides going to Kroger Field, that I've seen. So yeah, they make it really get a good feel to it, and I'll make for an exciting game. Yeah,
exciting atmosphere. At least we'll see how exciting the game's going to be. The Zaxby's High School Football Preview Show presented by Zaxby's Chicken on the Bypass in Danville. I went way off the grid today, Tim. I got the salad last week, and Danville ended up losing anyway. So they have at Zaxby's this brand new Philly
nice
chicken
as well. But the important thing is to go out there and see the.
There's Joe Pags, a Philly chicken sandwich. Yeah. Right. So I went with that today. First time I'd ever had it. I've always been telling myself I'm going to get it, but I never have taken that plunge. And I said, why not this week?
So I'm curious. So let's.
Very good.
Okay.
I got it fried. Now, if you don't like it fried, they have it grilled, too. But it's got, like, the Swiss cheese on it or the provolone. It's got the peppers and the onions caramelized on it. And it's good if you get a side of Zax sauce with it. You dip the sandwich in the Zax sauce. So I'm giving it, Tim, 2 thumbs up. Now, here's the deal. It's still, in my opinion, not better than the boneless wings and things. So it's not like one of those things where, like, I would go back and get it again over the boneless wings and things. Yeah. Now, maybe like a month from now, after I've eaten Zaxby's like 7 or 8 more times, I'm like, hey, let's go back. But it's not going to like be the every time thing that I'll order. Yeah. But it was good for like a switch-up type thing. So if you haven't had the Zaxby's Philly chicken cheese, it's not steak. I want to say cheese steak, but it's not steak, it's chicken. Philly cheese chicken sandwich or whatever. You can get that from Zaxby's Chicken on the Bypass in Danville. So that was very good. All right, Tim, so here's the rundown of today's show. We're talking Somerset and Danville first. There's some headlines around this game.
Really?
Right? There's some storylines around this game. And a lot of times the media picks out the storylines, but a lot of times the storylines pick themselves out. Mm-hmm. This is one where the storyline has picked itself out. So we'll talk about Danville and Somerset here tonight at the Briar Patch, of course, with Danville facing off against their former head coach, Clay Clevenger. We'll talk about Mercer County and Casey County, and we'll also talk about the high school fantasy football draft. We'll have that as well in the middle of the show on top of that. So a lot to talk about, a lot to discuss tonight at HTR Joe on Twitter. We'd love to have you on and get you on the Zaxby's High School Football Preview Show. You can tweet at me at HTR Joe on Twitter. We'll step aside, come back, and talk Danville and Somerset on the High School Football Preview Show, brought to you by Zaxby's Chicken on the Bypass in Danville on 103.9 FM WHIR, 99.5 FM WHBN, and HometownLive.net.
Hi, my name is Sam Tiller. I'm an agent here at the Boyle County, Kentucky Farm Bureau. Growing up here in Boyle County helps me understand your needs, and it makes me passionate about serving our community through exceptional customer service. To learn more about the advantages of becoming a Kentucky Farm Bureau member, stop by the office on the Danville Bypass or give me a call at 859-236-4081. At 859-236-4081. Ask for Sam. I'm big on commitment.
Hi, this is Karen, and at ADA Heating and Air, we offer free estimates on replacements. We install American Standard heating and air conditioning equipment. Our employees do not work on commission, so you don't pay for unnecessary repairs. We offer the best pricing around. On average, we can save you 15%. We offer same or next day service. Financing is available on our website at adaheatingandair.com. Call ADA today for all your HVAC needs at 859-519-6382. ADA is on the way.
Here at Zaxby's, we have perfectly paired all of our sauces to go with our hand-breaded chicken fingers. Seriously, it's science. Each flavor profile is in perfect harmony with each other. The crisp, zesty notes of honey mustard, the full, rounded, bold flavor of buffalo garlic blaze, the elegant, spicy smoke of Tug Torch, all the perfect pair to our famous chicken fingers. Test them out for yourself and grab some extra napkins. Select one from our 12 sauce options. There's endless sauce abilities, only at Zaxby's.
Hi, this is Jenny at the Danville Nutrition Center. Get ready for the great outdoors with our Rootology sinus and allergy support products. Or try our DEET-free, all-natural bug repellents that are safe for the whole family. We even have a natural bug repellent for dogs, which is specially formulated to repel mosquitoes, flies, fleas, and ticks. Enjoy the great outdoors naturally by visiting your locally owned Danville Nutrition Center. We are located at 802 South 4th Street in Danville.
This is Ryan Lemon, co-host of Kentucky Sports Radio, and you're listening to Central Kentucky's only high school football tailgating show, the High School Football Preview Show with Joe Mathis on the Hometown Radio Network.
Thank you for that, Ryan. Yep, live from the Briar Patch, Joe Mathis and Tim Holland here in the Somerset press box, and about an hour and 17 minutes away from kickoff. We'd love to have you on the show at HTR Joe on Twitter, the way to get in touch with us. And Danville traveling here to Somerset tonight, Tim, to the Briar Patch in what is kind of a last-ditch effort for Danville to try and get a home playoff game. If you don't win tonight, you don't get one. And you know, even if Danville were to win next week against Breathitt County, if they lose tonight and win at Breathitt County next week, they'd be 1-2. And if Leslie County somehow knocks off Somerset next week, they would be – no, I'm sorry. If Breathitt County knocks off Leslie County this week, then Breathitt County would be 1-2, assuming Danville beats them next week. And then if Somerset beats Leslie County, then there would be a three-way tie. All three of them would be 1-2. Somerset would be 3-0. Then Leslie, Breathitt, and Danville would be 1-2. But then it goes to tiebreakers, and Danville hasn't beaten anyone. Yeah. So they wouldn't have any tiebreakers, right? So, I mean, you've got to win tonight if you want a chance at a home playoff game. If you don't, you're going on the road. And the thing about going on the road is, you know, there's a great chance if Danville loses tonight, you lose next week, then you finish last in the district. You match up against the number one ranked team in the district that you're sistered with, which is District 6 for Danville, or District 5, vice versa, one of them. Yeah. They're either in 6 and match with 5 or in 5 match with 6. But it's Beechwood. You're looking at Beechwood, Tim, that you would have to travel to in the first round to play in the playoffs. For those that don't know, Beechwood is 44-2 in their last 46 games. Their two losses are to Covington Catholic, a 5A school, by a combined 7 points in those two games. They've won 3 consecutive state championships. So what I'm saying is, you don't have a shot in the playoffs, right? If you don't get a home play, or if you don't, I mean, if you go to Beechwood, you don't have a chance, right? So like, you got to win tonight or win, you know, maybe next week if Leslie knocks off Breathitt tonight, Then you have a chance to beat Breathitt next week. Then you got the 3 seed, right? Then you're not having to go to Beechwood. But, this is a huge game for Danville unless Leslie knocks off Breathitt. Then next week is the biggest game of the season for Danville. Then you don't have to go to Beechwood if you happen to beat Breathitt next week. But it really starts tonight for Danville here at Somerset.
Yeah, because last week was a really good chance for them to be able to get the win. And, so now, because, Leslie, I just see is a little bit kind of lower within the district. Now you're coming across the team many feel is the best in the district. So it's like you had trouble against Leslie.
Yeah.
Now you've got Somerset. And, they've really been, 2 losses, I think you said?
Who?
Somerset.
Yes, Somerset has lost 2 games. The
first one
we'll
was,
talk about that in a little bit. They're 5-2. They should probably be 6-1, and legitimately could have a chance at 7-0.
Yeah.
This is a really good Somerset team, and this is, of course, the game that a lot of people have circled on their calendar for at least since I think it was February when Somerset named Clay Clevenger as their head coach, and. We knew that this day would eventually come because Somerset and Danville were in the same district, and I remember, Tim, the day that Somerset named Clay their head coach, like I had it in my mind what I was going to say on this day.
Mm-hmm.
Like 9 months later, what I was going to say. And I kind of talked about it with you last week, driving back home. And when I was talking about it with you last week, I changed my mind and said, you know what? I don't know. There's a lot that everybody could say.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure most of it is productive things, right? So, at this point, you just look at the game and you talk about the game.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm going to do.
That's just the easiest thing to do.
It's the easiest thing to do, and so that's what we're going to do. So let's talk about Somerset. They're led by a head coach named Clay Clevenger. I'm starting it off the way I would any other game. Led by a head coach named Clay Clevenger, and former Danville state title offensive lineman. He was an All-American at Carson Newman. Got his first head coaching job at Henderson County back, I think, in 2006 or 2007 at Henderson County. And he actually took over Henderson County for Duffer Duffy, former Danville head coach. So it went from former Danville head coach at Henderson County to former Danville head coach at Henderson County, from Duffy to Clay Clevenger. And started off a little bit as a struggle for him at Henderson County. Now, remember, this is a 6A school, right? So, you can not struggle, but you're probably still not going to win because it's Trinity and St. X. And, of course, Bullitt East won last year, but it's basically a class ruled by Trinity and St. X. And I think his first year at Henderson County was the first year they went to 6 classes. I believe Duffy's last year they were 4A, and then Clay took over to Henderson, and that's when they went to 6 classes. So Henderson County went from 4A, which was still the biggest class, to 6A, which was the biggest class. So starts off 2-9 his first year at Henderson County. Then they go 7-4 the next year. In 2010, Tim, they're 9-3. The next year, they're 9-4. They make the region final game. Back-to-back years, they lost by a touchdown in the region finals to a team that would later make the state championship game in Mail and I think Louisville Butler in back-to-back years, right? So he's doing things at Henderson County that's fairly impressive for what was at that point a young coach at a 6A school in a class that's really hard to win in 6A. Sam Harp steps down in 2012. Clay Clevenger takes the Danville job his first year in 2013, and it's the same thing at Danville, right? Things kind of start off rocky, as they typically do for new head coaches in a new job. We're seeing Danville 0-7 this year, right? So we know a lot of times it's tough to come in your first year and start things off winning like you want to. But just like at Henderson County, things start to build up a little bit, right? So you look, he took over in 2013. 3 years in, Tim, he has Danville in the state championship game for the first time in a decade. In 2017, he wins Danville's first state title in nearly 15 years. And here's something that I'm not sure a lot of people knew, because I didn't know it until I looked it up today. From 2015, Tim, to 2017, Danville went 39-5 in a 3-year stretch with Clay Clevenger as the head coach. 39-5. It was the most wins for Danville football in a 3-year stretch since 1993 to 1995, when Danville won 40 games. So what he was able to do from 2015 to 2017, Tim, was just one win behind what some of those great all-time Danville teams in the early to mid-'90s did in a 3-year stretch. Did you realize it was that? It was that close?
I didn't think it was that close, because I remember pretty fondly those teams earlier and that Coach Harp had, and they were a stud-loaded team. They were very impressive. And I guess it was just he did it kind of more quietly.
Yes, yeah.
So
that 2016, well, really the 2015 team made the state semifinals. 2016 team made the state championship. 2017 team won the state championship. But you're right, it was kind of a quiet thing and a kind of a quiet build-up to show you how impressive that was. We mentioned from 1993 to 1995, that 94 team, Tim, that sits right in the middle of the most wins in a 3-year stretch in Danville football history. That 94 team scored 696 points in the 94 season. That's the most ever by a Danville football team in a single season. So what he did in a 3-year stretch from 2015 to 2017, again, is right up there with some of the greatest stretches in the history of Danville football. It just is, with a number of wins. And it's the third most in a 3-year stretch in the history of Danville football. 93 to 95 is number one, and I believe like 92 to 94 is the other 3-year stretch. So you're still talking kind of about that same time period. This is interesting. I got to give Mike Marcy a shout-out for this, because I had no idea about this, because Mike did some serious digging for this stat. And Mike knows I love stats, and he texted me earlier and said, Joe, did you see this tidbit? I want to make sure you saw it, because it seems like it'd be right up your alley. So I'm giving Mike Marcy, the Advocate Messenger, a shout-out for this one. This is the first time that Danville football will play a former head coach since 1955. Now, they've played teams where the guys ended up becoming their head coach, right? They played Anderson County. Mark Peach later became the Danville head coach. But we're talking about playing against a coach that was their coach previously. 1955. Danville played Boone County in the 1955 season. They won that game against Boone County, by the way, 18-13. Danville was led by a head coach named Ed Rutledge. Boone County was led by a head coach named Rice Mountjoy.
That sounds familiar.
Rice Mountjoy, who the field is named after. Yeah. The Danville football field is named after. Of course, Rice Mountjoy coached Danville from 1928 to 1941. And then he went to Boone County later on. And in 1955, he was the head coach at Boone County. Danville played Boone County. And as far as Mike Marcy can figure out, it is the only time in Danville football history up until tonight that Danville has played a coach that once formerly coached that team.
And we kind of talked about it on the way up here, too. And I think Mike even mentioned it to you a little bit that, I had to think for a minute. It's like, well, okay, Danville played Fort Thomas. So was Duffy there? Well, no, Duffy was already gone.
Duffy was gone when Danville played Highlands when Coach Harp was at Danville. Yeah. So, I went back and looked, too, at some things just to make sure. I mean, not that I don't trust Mike, but just, do my own research. And it seems as if that's correct.
Yeah.
The first time ever was in 1955, and this will be the second time ever that Danville football will play a game against a former head coach. Let's look at the Somerset team real quickly, because coming into this season, they were kind of in a similar situation to Danville. Danville had their best player and their starting running back transfer. Somerset had their best player, starting running back, transfer to Corbin. Guy Bailey is playing at Corbin now, right? So it seemed as if this Somerset team was, quite honestly, I don't say bad, but we're going to be down this year. I talked with multiple people who told me Somerset was going to be down this year, right? So kind of the same situation. They start off the year losing their season opening game versus Perry County Central in a game that a bad call by an official didn't go their way. The KHSA admitted it and said, look, there's nothing we can do about it, but Somerset's right. The official made a horrible call, and they should have had an extra down at the end of the game, but they couldn't redo it. So Somerset starts off 0-1, and then as far as I understand, the next week versus Russell County essentially get lucky because Russell County mismanages the clock and has to punt the ball back to Somerset, and Somerset scores late and wins 28-24. So the first two games, you lose in a heartbreaking way, and then you could have lost in another heartbreaking way if the other team didn't mismanage the clock. But from there, it's been a roll for Somerset, and their offense has looked really, really good in the process despite losing their top running back to Corbin. And so let's talk about the Somerset offense tonight. This is a spread offense that utilizes the run a whole lot. Now, remember, in Clevenger's first year at Danville, he went triple option, but he had a quarterback named Zach Dampier and said, you know what, this guy could be kind of good. Maybe we ought to start running the spread a little bit and throw the ball around. And so from that point on, he really utilized the spread, and that's what he does here at Somerset. And it's not a spread team that's going to pass the ball around a lot. They're going to utilize the run out of that shotgun formation. It's a 68%, 32% run-pass team. So even despite losing Guy Bailey to Corbin, Tim, it's a team that loves to run, and it's all led by the Hughes brothers, Chris Hughes and Cam Hughes, but particularly in the backfield, Cam Hughes. Now, this is a guy that is a downhill runner. He's not a huge guy. He's 5'10", and 170 pounds, so he's not nearly as big as Steve Parton was at Knox Central, but he is downhill, and that has been, Tim, I think you can say the Achilles heel of Danville's defense is trying to stop a guy that's running downhill, a big downhill runner, and this is exactly what Danville's going to face tonight in Cam Hughes.
Yeah, especially downhill runner in between the tackles if he hits a lot, because we just know it's just a weaker spot that Danville has is in between the tackles, really, guard to guard type of area. And if they like to hit that area hard, it's a harder one for them to stop, especially with their defensive setup.
Yeah, this guy, Cam Hughes, the fourth leading rusher in Class 2A. He's averaging 142 yards a game. You couple that with his brother Chris Hughes and what he does in the backfield. Those two alone, Tim, are averaging more rushing yards per game than Danville's entire offense is per game. Right? So it is imperative tonight that Danville gets their helmets and hats to the football and tackle these guys, particularly Cam Hughes, before he gets running downhill, because it is a major struggle for Danville once these guys get running downhill, because Danville is just, they're undersized up front. Yeah. They are, and we've seen that all year long. And so, to keep their positive momentum, the running back's positive momentum from going downhill, you got to get to them as quickly as you can.
Yeah, and we talk, undersized and thin in that position. That's an area for Danville that's really thin at, that line.
Yeah, this is, the way that Coach Clevenger uses Cam Hughes is not really any different than what he did when he was at Danville. He's always been a guy who has leaned really heavily on, what you would call a bell cow running back, so a guy who carries it a ton, kind of that number one guy. You look back at his early seasons at Danville, it was Jawan Gray, his first year, who ran for 15 touchdowns. Then you had Stephen Ray, who ran for 25 touchdowns in, I think it was Clay's second or third year at Danville. 25 touchdowns in 2015. And then 2016 and 17, it was Don Harris, who was the bell cow, who ran for 30-plus touchdowns over a 2-year span. So that's just kind of how his offense works, right? It's not always that running back is the best player on the team necessarily, but it certainly helps spread the ball around. Like, you go to 2017, Don Harris was a phenomenal running back, but Damare Van Cleve won Mr. Football, right? And I think everybody would say Damare Van Cleve was the best player on Danville's football team in 2017. But you got the bell cow. You're right, Don was a downhill runner, right? A heavy, downhill, aggressive, hard runner. It fits exactly into the scheme that Clay likes to run on offense here at Somerset.
Yeah, it does. He's really, for him, there's no reason to change anything. And the thing is Danville's seen this before, so that ought to be able to help them kind of prepare for it, to know what to expect. So.
Yeah, but again, not nearly as big as Steve Parton, and that's like when I'm talking about a downhill runner this year, that's the guy I'm thinking of. But he was 6'1", 220. Cam Hughes is 5'11", 170. So he's like my size.
Yeah.
Of course, he's a lot more muscular than I am, right? But I'm 5'11", 170. So, I'm a little bit small. I'm a little bit smaller than Steve Parton is, but still a downhill runner. When you look at the defense, expect a 3-4 defense from Coach Clevenger, and expect the same thing that he did at Danville tonight. Got some athletes on the defensive side of the football. Coach Park says he believes that Somerset is going to be aggressive today versus Danville. That's led them to force a lot of turnovers this year. Somerset's forced 13 turnovers through the first 7 games, including 2 pick sixes. One of them a 100-yard pick six in the first game of the year against Perry County Central. So Danville got to protect the football. Coach Park said, we got to keep the football away from Somerset because they want to use their size to outman us, is what Coach Park said, and run the football right down our throats.
Yeah. And
they've been able to do that quite a bit this year against some pretty good teams. Somerset has.
Yeah, and I see them really bringing that pressure off the end. That's been an area that Danville's kind of had a little trouble with, is the tackles getting the movement, being a little bit more mobile. We see when they bring a couple of defenders off the end, it just makes it hard for the offense, and I kind of see Clevenger doing that a lot with them.
Danville and Somerset, 7:30 kickoff, about an hour from right now, here in your home for Danville football, 103.9 FM, WHIR. We will step aside, come back, and we'll have the high school fantasy football draft. We'll also talk Mercer County and Casey County tonight. First time in 15 years those two teams have met. And we'll talk about that game coming up on the high school football preview show, live from Somerset, brought to you by Zaxby's Chicken on the Bypass in Danville on 103.9 FM, WHIR, 99.5 FM, WHBN, and HometownLive.net.
Great! See, we're practically sitting on the field. If you could sit here.
Your food and drinks will be right over.
Oh, yes! For the same price as way up here. Great seats. Right up here with a blimp. Why wouldn't you? It's the same with auto insurance. With discounts up to 40%, it's possible to get the personal service of a State Farm agent for the same or less than those other guys.
See your State Farm agent in Harrodsburg, David Hopewell, and Randy Couch.
You need a stopper at the new Papa's Quick Stop for some knickknacks, gas and snacks, breakfast, lunch, and fried chicken with a bone. Papa's Quick Stop has a loyalty program, fast way to earn on every purchase you make. A swipe of your card is all it takes. Come see what they've done to the new place at Papa's Quick Stop. Come try their great breakfast, lunch specials, and save on all your gas, snacks, beer, and much, much more. Hey, Papa, can you stop at the Quick Stop in Danville, across from the fairgrounds? Now offering the full Candleberry collection. Candleberry at Papa.
Hi, folks. Mike Gay here, HR Manager with Essity. At Essity, we want to wish all of our local high schools good luck during this season. We're proud to sponsor Mercer County, Bergen, Boyle County, Danville, and Garrett County. All of these schools will produce our future employees, and we're rooting for you all this season. So go Ads, go Rebels, go Titans, go Bulldogs, and go Golden Lions. So thanks again from Essity in Harrodsburg and Danville for representing our communities in a great way.
The Hometown Radio Network sports broadcast schedule brought to you by Monticello Bank. High school football on Friday the 13th as Boyle County hosts Lincoln County Friday on Z105. Danville is at Somerset on 103.9 FM WHIR. Mercer County is at Casey County on 99.5 FM WHBN. And Garrett County is at Marion County on HometownLive.net and delayed on Z105. All those games kick off Friday night 7:30 and all of them streaming live at HometownLive.net.
Be cautious of repair people who stop by unexpectedly. If they demand cash before they perform services like roofing or painting, it could be a scam. Hi, I'm Adam Hopkins, Security Officer at Farmers National Bank. Ask for references and don't be pressured to pay before the work is done.
Hey, if you believe conservative is not a bad word, join other enlightened listeners and me, Sean Hannity, weekdays at 3 on AM 1230 WHIR.
Welcome to week number 7 of the Danville Family Dentistry High School Fantasy Football Draft. We are so back for week number 7. Radio Rick, what's up?
Good evening.
There you go.
Hey, Joe.
Team Center Communications, Team Harrodsburg Mercer County Tourism.
Hey, Joe.
Mr. Packett wasn't even here last week. He was working, but that's fine because he had a bye, and he sent me the players that he picked in the bye. So glad to have you all back in studio. Let's quickly run back over last week's matchups. Going into last week, I was 4-0. Radio Rick was 3-1.
2-2.
2-2. 2-2.
Yep.
And
well, wouldn't that be something?
Excuse me.
Thank you, Matt. Sneezing in this small studio with everybody on top of each other. We appreciate that.
I made a point to put it directly into the mic, so we should be okay.
All right, good.
Good. Derek has to share that microphone.
Yeah, good.
That's not funny.
All right, so Radio Rick versus myself. When we talked last week, Rick needed a win to really stay in this because
you needed a loss for everybody to stay in.
Yeah, but particularly for Rick because he was going to fall 2 games back, but really for everybody. So this is how it started. Starting off with Radio Rick, who had 24.5 from Braden Boffman, his leading scorer last week. Braden had a good game there at Leslie County, 24.5. 21 from Gage Feltner, who had a big week for Boyle County. Gio Brown got Rick 12. I went back and listened to the highlights of the Boyle County and Russell County game, and there's a spot in that game where Steve's calling the game, and he says something like, touchdown, Maury Brown. And then Rick says, no, it's not Maury Brown, that's Gio Brown. And so Steve had misread his number, and you lightly hear Rick in the background after he says, that's Gio Brown. He goes, yes. I wonder what that was about. Because he had Gio Brown in his fantasy team, who got him 12 points. 13.3 for Derek Morton, the East Chessman running back. You did pick Baylor Murphy. You didn't do too much. Boyle County's backup quarterback. But you added all up, Rick, 91.5 points for you last week.
but I lost because you always go with the one that wins second.
Yes! 91.5 for you, Radio Rick, and you're not feeling confident.
No,
and
not at all.
Maybe you shouldn't be.
I told you last week who I picked, you, to beat me.
Maybe you shouldn't be because Sage Dawson was my starting quarterback who threw 4 touchdowns and ran for 25 yards. 29.5 points from Sage Dawson. Good start for me. Dalton Maggard, the Leslie County running back, 126 rushing yards. He really would have capped off the performance with a touchdown, but he didn't get in the end zone. But still, 17.3 points for my second leading scorer, and things are going great for me. And then things take an interesting turn because my third leading scorer only got me 6.6. I had 2 players that got 4 points. I had one who got 1.9. I had 2 who combined for nothing. 2 different positions got nothing. You add it up, Radio Rick, 91.5. Me, 63.3. Not only is it a Radio Rick win, it's a Radio Rick win by convincing fashion. Almost a 30-point win for Radio Rick to keep things close in the standings and in the total points. Wait till you hear the total points. This has been close total points all year long, but wait till you hear this.
Mr. Packett, how does that make you feel now?
Good.
Thank you for that enlightening
insight.
Yeah, long insight there.
He's not a long when he speaks, he means it. You know, like he's not just flapping the gums to do it. But Radio Rick gets the win over Team Me. Second matchup, Team Center Communications versus Harrodsburg Tourism. Starting off with Harrodsburg Tourism, who got 34.7 from Landry Collett, the Leslie County quarterback, who didn't do it through the air. He did it on the ground. 3 rushing touchdowns for the Leslie County quarterback, Landry Collett. 12.6 for Dalton Baker, the Leslie County wide receiver. 10.3 from Avery Bodner. 9.6 from Maury Brown. A couple of other single-digit points scattered in there. 75.9 for you last week. Harrisburg Tourism, not a great score, but you're going against the winless Center Communications, so is that, you feeling good with that?
Oh, very good.
You think that's enough to at least get the win?
Yeah, against him, yes, very much so.
We'll see if that's the case. 15.9 is the leading score for Center Communications. Bubba Trumbo got him 15.9, which is okay if you have about 4 or 5 other 15-point scorers.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you didn't. You had Enrique Gutierrez-Jacobs, who got you 11. He's your second leading scorer. Everybody else in single digits.
What position's he?
He's a quarterback for Danville.
Okay.
51.1 points for Team Center Communications. He's laughing about it. 51.1 for Center Communications. A grin across his face.
Moving on to
Mr. Packett, who on bye actually had Dante Parker Morton, the East Chessman quarterback, got him 15.2, but he had 0.1, 0.2, 0, 0, 3.6, 2, and 0. 21.1 on bye for Mr. Packett.
Really wasn't that far behind Matt.
Yeah, he would have been in a good game with Matt this week. All right, here's the standings.
I'm worried about Matt. He used to be so good at this, and I liked him a lot. I'm concerned about him.
I think he's
everything okay, Matt?
Yeah, I don't know if there's like something pressing on his mind. He's not as mentally engaged this year.
Defending champion too here.
Yeah, and he's 0-5.
No, Joe was the champion, wasn't he?
No, Matt won last year.
Matt won it.
Yeah, and it wasn't close. So I had to make it a little closer this year.
I don't think you have to make it this close. You can at least win 1 or 2 of them or something.
Didn't you get a new job?
Wow, you're done. You're toast.
All right, look. Here's the standings. I'm 4-1. Mr. Packett is 3-1. He's had 2 byes, so no more byes for Mr. Packett. Radio Rick is 3-2, so 1 game behind me. Mercer Tourism, 2-3, 2 games back, still in it. Team Center Communications, 0-5, 4 games back. Pretty close. 9-80. Some matchups got to root for your arch nemesis, Matt. So that's
Derek are good friends. I don't know where this arch nemesis came from.
Could you define good?
So you got it. It's brought to
Hi, I'm Dr. Be part of the STRAP schedule. At Danville Family Dentistry, we are all about you. We are located at 132 North 2nd Street. Again, that's Danville Family Dentistry, 236-2488.
All right, here we go. Team Harrodsburg Mercer Tourism picks first. Radio Rick second. Mr. Packett third. Team Center Communications fourth.
With the first pick, Harrodsburg Mercer County Tourism selects Sage Dawson.
Who you going with, Derek?
Matt just said it for me. He saw me already write it down. Sage Dawson.
What a spoiler. Sage Dawson.
Boy, that gave it away, didn't it?
I know.
Yeah, thanks, Matt, for stealing my thunder.
Our listeners were ready for Derek to say it, but Matt, who has to make it all about him.
Wow. Remember when Kanye interrupted Taylor's speech? That was kind of...
I'll let you finish.
All right, Sage Dawson's off the board. Radio Rick, you're up.
Back-to-back?
No.
Oh. All right. If I'm not going back-to-back, then I'm going to Montavi Quisenberry.
Tavy Quisenberry?
Yep.
We'll go in your running back number 1 spot. Tavy Q. Mr. Packett, 1 pick.
Let's see. I'll take Avery Bodner.
Ave Bode will go in your RB1 spot. So 3 straight Rebels. Avery Bodner's off the board. Team Center Communications, back-to-back.
Thaddeus Mays and
Thaddeus Mays.
And who? Pick someone.
I'll roll with Maury Brown.
Maury Brown goes in your wide receiver number 1 spot. Mr. Packett, you get 1 pick.
All right, Joe. Appreciate it. Drakeford. Let's go, baby.
Ashton Drakeford. How about Avery Bodner and Ashton Drakeford and a little let's go, baby, from Mr. Packett. Happy with his first 2 selections. Double R, Radio Rick. 1 pick.
All right. Braden Boffman.
Braden Boffman tonight against a former friend of the show. Maybe he still is a friend of the show.
He still is.
I'm sure he's still a friend of the show. Braden Boffman taking on Somerset. He's off the board. Harrodsburg Mercer Tourism. Who you got? Back-to-back.
Evan Stevens.
Evan Stevens.
And Malachi Simmons.
Ooh. 2 good back-to-back picks. Derek's got himself a squad. Loading up. Malachi Simmons, Evan Stevens, Radio Rick, 1 pick.
He did good for me last week, so let's go back. Let's go to Gio.
Gio Brown will go in your wide receiver number 1 spot. He's kind of coming to his own.
Yep. Last
3 or 4 weeks. Gio's off the board. Mr. P, 1 pick.
I'll take the Boyle County Rebels defense.
Boyle defense against Lincoln County. The Boyle County Rebels' first defense off the board. Center Communications.
Denham Griffith.
Okay. Denham Griffith.
Cameron Peak.
Denham Griffith and Cameron Peak. Off the board. Mr. Packett, back to you.
Dang it.
Take your time, buddy. I won't give you flack, like certain people have given me on my choices.
Who's those certain people?
Yeah,
he just side-eyed you, Derek.
I haven't even spoke when he's picked.
No, it was Packett. Tell me to hurry up.
Wow.
That's okay, though.
Matt's keeping the receipts.
It's okay.
What week was that?
Just now. It was like the second pick of this draft.
Oh.
Hey, look, I didn't cause any issues.
Shows you how well I'm listening to my own program. That's right, because you said and twice, and you said, hurry up and pick. And who?
What week was that?
5 minutes ago.
Take Hayden Elliman.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, Hayden Elliman plays for Garrett County, and he's been pretty good this year. Actually been really good.
All right.
Hayden,
thanks, Joe.
You're welcome. Hayden Elliman's off the board. Radio Rick, who do you want?
All right, let's go with Gage Feltner.
Gage Feltner. So Rick gets both of the guys that he was on his team last week that did well. Gio Brown and Gage Feltner. Team Tourism. Not just any tourism. Harrodsburg tourism. He doesn't care about tourism to other areas. He wants tourism. How greedy is that?
No, that's not true.
You do care about tourism to other areas?
Yeah.
Why?
I mean, people come to Danville.
Because he wants to keep his job.
Too. You know, maybe they're here.
Can I ask you something?
Uh-oh, here it is.
I don't know. Sure.
If I said I'm coming to Harrisburg for a weekend,
yeah.
What do you got on the docket for me?
Shaker Village, Old L Tavern. I know you drink, so Lemon's Mill Brewery and the Vault.
Old Fort Herod with the
Fort Herod.
Sleepy Hollow.
Of course, yeah. Old Fort Herod. You know that.
All right, that sounds pretty good.
Thanks.
And you can stay.
If you golf, Bright Leaf. If it's summer, go to the lake. Maybe a little.
He's got a fun little weekend planned for you, doesn't he, Mr. Packett?
Derek said you could just stay with him and save money.
Sound like I'm a big drinker. I'm not.
Yeah, I know you drink. You act like he's drunk on the show. I know you're constantly drinking. Like right now.
Yeah, that wasn't very nice.
Like right now, you're probably hammered as you make this pick. So go to the Old Al Tavern.
Why do you think I said golf, the lake, all the big drinking places?
All right. Sounds like he's got a good weekend. I don't even know whose pick it is.
Come down and hang out. It's my pick.
Oh, it's Derek's. Back to back, Derek.
Give me Bubba Trumbo.
Okay.
And my flex, I'll go Bryce Floyd.
Bryce Floyd. Bryce, who they call Bob. Bryce Bob Floyd. You love the board. Ready, Rick? 1 pick. Double R.
Let me have Cole Andrews.
Cole Andrews, who I think has been on Rick's team like every week except one. Because I picked him 1 week. I know I did. Cole Andrews off the board. Mr. P, 1 pick.
Malachi Davis.
Malachi Davis will go in your RB2 spot. He is the backup for Mercer County, but with the Titans playing Casey County this week, maybe Davis gets some clock. He's off the board. Team Center Communications, give us 2 picks.
Give me the Mercer County D.
Okay.
And I will take Yakir Wood.
Excuse me, what?
Jaggerwood. Mr. P, you're up. One pick.
And I'll just take the Boyle County kicker.
He's already been picked. Cole Andrews was picked last pick by Rick.
Tell him what he needs.
You need a quarterback, a flex, and a kicker.
Bo Patterson.
Bo Patterson's off the board. Ready? Rick, one pick.
Justin Parsons.
Some of these alternate names. Justin Parsons. He's the Garrett County quarterback, and Rick has just taken him. Derek, you get 2 picks.
Garrett County's defense.
Okay, the Golden Lions going against Marion County. Good pick, Derek. Who else you got?
Connor Davis.
Connor Davis is off the board. Ready, Rick?
Let's go ahead and go Jackson Perry.
Okay. Jack Pear goes in your flex.
Yep.
That's a pick that Derek likes because he's a Mercer County Titan football player.
Yeah, that was going to be my next pick if I had a receiver.
Jackson Perry, yeah. Mr. Packett, you get 1 pick. Quarterback or kicker?
I'll take Andrew Price.
Okay. Andrew Price, Casey County quarterback. He's usually good for at least double digits. Look, if you can get...
County, it's all I got. That's all I can pick.
Casey County defense is off the board. And team tourism. Kicker.
Zach Daly.
Zach Daly, the Garrett County kicker, is off the board.
Oh, you didn't take Colby Cheese.
And that's all there is to it, folks, for this week's draft. Let's go over the matchups real quick. Derek taking on Radio Rick, so tourism versus Rick. Team Harrodsburg Tourism has Sage Dawson at quarterback, Evan Stevens, Malachi Simmons at running back, Bubba Trumbo and Connor Davis at wide receiver, Bryce Bob Floyd at flex, Zach Daly kicker, Garrett County's defense is defense. Going against Radio Rick, Justin Parsons at quarterback, Tavy Q and Braden Boffman at running backs, Geo Brown, Gage Feltner at wide receivers, Jackson Perry flex, Cole Andrews kicker, Casey County defense is his defense. Matt shook his head after reading both those teams, but shook his head more vigorously when I read Derek's roster. So is that who you're going with? I was watching the vigorousness.
If I was going to put a spread on it, 1.5 points to Derek.
All right.
You know, you haven't picked me all year to win.
Well, it's probably not a bad thing. He is 0-5.
I haven't picked anything.
He hadn't picked his own team to win this year yet. Mr. Packett versus Team Center Communications. Mr. P has Andrew Price at quarterback, Avery Bodner, Malachi Davis at running backs, Ashton Drakeford, Hayden Elliman, wide receivers, Bo Patterson flex, Onofel Maham Mendez at kicker, Boyle County's defense and special teams in that spot. Versus Center Communications, Thaddeus Mays at quarterback, Denham Griffith, Cameron Peak at running backs, Mari Brown, Jagger Wood at wide receivers, Jiden Smith Heisel flex, Liam Potts kicker, Mercer County's defense is defense, which leaves it up for me. I will take Enrique Gutierrez Jacobs at quarterback. At running backs, I will take Nehemiah Wilson, who goes by Nemo, apparently, Nehemiah Wilson, and give me Elon Lane for Lincoln County. Wide receivers, I'll take Trendon Sellers for Danville, and I will take Keenan Stewart for Boyle County. In my flex, I'll go Seth Horton at Lincoln County. Seth Horton at Lincoln County, I'll take Caleb Wilcher as my kicker, and I will elect not to take a defense amongst the 3 that are left.
All right.
There you go, folks. That's the end of Week 7 of the Fantasy Draft. Good luck to everybody. Hope you all have a great week. Radio Rick?
You too, Joe.
Good luck, everybody.
Thank you. More Zaxby's High School Football Preview Show is coming up next.
All I could taste is this moment, and all I can breathe is your life.
/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Hi folks, Mike Gay here, HR Manager with Essity. At Essity, we want to wish all of our local high schools good luck during this season. We're proud to sponsor Mercer County, Bergen, Boyle County, Danville, and Garrett County. All of these schools will produce our future employees, and we're rooting for you all this season. So go Ads, go Rebels, go Titans, go Bulldogs, and go Golden Lions. So thanks again from Essity in Harrodsburg and Danville for representing our communities in a great way.
Here at Zaxby's, we have perfectly paired all of our sauces to go with our hand-breaded chicken fingers. Seriously, it's science. Each flavor profile is in perfect harmony with each other. The crisp, zesty notes of honey mustard. The full, rounded, bold flavor of buffalo garlic blaze. The elegant, spicy smoke of Tug Torch. All the perfect pair to our famous chicken fingers. Test them out for yourself and grab some extra napkins. Select one from our 12 sauce options. There's endless sauce abilities, only at Zaxby's.
Hi, I'm Jessica Johnson with Kentucky Farm Bureau. As your local agent, proud to serve Boyle and Danville community and help you get the right protection for your home, auto, life, and business. Kentucky Farm Bureau has provided folks in the Bluegrass with quality insurance and dependable service since 1943. I'd love the opportunity to earn your business. For a free quote, give me a call at 859-583-4920 or stop by our office in Danville on the bypass and ask for Jess. I'm big on commitment.
Saturday night. Coach Stoops and his squad are going to do a little tiger taming.
Let's win this thing as a team. Let's go, baby.
Missouri Tigers and your Kentucky Wildcats.
Touchdown!
The pregame show starts this Saturday evening at 5:30 with kickoff at 7:30.
Song of your home for the Cats and the hits. WRNZ FMC 105. Go Cats!
Joe Mathis and Tim Holland live here from the Somerset Press Box. Sky's starting to darken on us here
I
at
wasn't
Somerset.
expecting until later.
It's starting to get pretty dark, and we'll see if rain impacts this game. As long as it's not anything more than rain, we're okay with it. Don't want any further delays to start this game. Hey, let's talk Mercer County at Casey County for the 20th time head-to-head, Tim. These two teams will play each other, and it's the first time in 15 years, first time since 2008 that Mercer County and Casey County have played each other, a game that Mercer County won 58-6 back in 2008. And it's the first trip for Mercer County to Casey County for the first time since 2005. Right, so almost, 20 years to the day the last time the Titans played in Liberty, when you look at the last time that they played in Casey County. Mercer County's won 7 straight over Casey County and haven't played every year, right? So, like, they would play some years and then would take a couple years off and then play some years. So they've won 7 straight. So the last head-to-head matchup was 2008. That means the last time, Tim, that Casey County beat Mercer County, their last head-to-head matchup, 2008, then they didn't play every year, and then Mercer County won 7 straight. 1984, October the 12th of 1984. So almost 40 years to the day, the last time Casey County beat Mercer County. The Titans at that point, led by then head coach Larry French, was the head coach of the Mercer County Titans back in 1984 when Casey County last beat Mercer County head-to-head. This is a big game for both teams tonight because if Mercer wins, they go to 2-0 in the district and they clinch a home playoff game. We assume that Garrett County will beat Marion County tonight. Now, you know what they say about assumptions, but, I mean, I believe Garrett's better than Marion. Yeah. So we're just going to say Garrett County beats Marion County tonight. If that happens, that would mean next week's game between Garrett County and Mercer County, that'd be a biggie for the number 1 overall seed in that district. Mercer County and Garrett County be playing for that next week if Mercer and Garrett both win tonight. Casey County, though, has a chance to put a screw in some things here. So if Casey County wins tonight, that would mean Casey and Mercer would both be 1-1 in the district. Again, we assume Garrett beats Marion. If Mercer would have beat Garrett next week, losing this week in this illustration, but winning next week, then you'd have a 3-way tie for the number 1 overall seed between Casey County, Garrett County, and Mercer County, all at 2-1. So, you know, Casey win tonight would really kind of mess some things up or make it exciting for you, depending on what side you're looking at it from. If you like those 3-way tiebreakers and sitting down and doing the math and all that, then it would be fun. If you're looking for the most simple solution, a Garrett win tonight, a Mercer win tonight, they'd both be 2-0 in their district.
No, I was shaking my head with you.
Yeah, it's the Class 3A district that they're in together. Casey County, led by head coach Levi Rogers. He was on the staff at Lincoln County under his cousin Spencer Crutchfield when Spencer was at Lincoln County as the head coach. Spencer, of course, left Lincoln, went to Garrett County, where he is now in his second year there at Garrett County. And Levi Rogers took the head coaching job at Casey County this year after Steve Stonebreaker left for Adair County. So that's how Levi Rogers ends up at Casey County. And there is one thing you can always count on when you look at Casey County football for, like, seriously the last 20 years, or like maybe 15, maybe not quite 20, but 15 years or so, it always seems like Casey County has a really good quarterback and a really good running back. You never know about the rest of the team. Now, they've had some years. They've had some really good receivers out there as well. Micah Pendleton. There was a Floyd kid that was really good. Or Britt Pendleton, maybe is what it was. There was a Floyd kid that was really good. But there's always going to be a quarterback and a running back that make plays for Casey County. You can look at the annals of Casey County and look at those two positions. You go back to 2016, a team that won 10 games. It was Brees Hayes who was the quarterback. It was Colin Miller who was the running back. Of course, Brees Hayes is the offensive line coach for Danville now. Brees is a great guy, but he was their quarterback at Casey County in 16. In 2017, it was Austin Campbell and Preston Tucker, who were both phenomenal players. Preston Tucker had 26 rushing touchdowns that year for Casey County in 2017. Then he had 16 the next year in 2018. Then it was Reese Brown who came in, and he was more of like a running threat than he was a throwing threat. He could run all over the place, but what a phenomenal player Reese Brown was. Now they have Andrew Price. They have Evan Stevens. They're not throwing it nearly as much in the first year under head coach Levi Rogers. It's a 70-30 run-pass offense, but that's because Price is such a good runner that they do design runs for him, or he could, take off and run with a football. I think he actually leads Casey County in rushing touchdowns this year. So I think Mercer County is a better team than Casey County. Right, Garrett beat Casey. I think Mercer County is also going to beat Casey County, but, it's the same thing. It doesn't matter who the head coach is, it seems like. They've got a quarterback and a running back that their offense revolves around and it can make plays, and they have the same thing this year there at Casey County and Liberty. So that game being played at Casey County, again, for the first time since 2005, Mercer County travels to Casey County for that game tonight. Other games around the area include Lincoln County at Boyle County. That's homecoming for the Rebels tonight. Garrett County at Marion County. Again, Golden Lions win. If Mercer County wins, you have a fun game next week. I think it's in Mercer County for that number 1 overall seed in the district. And then Anderson County is at Collins tonight as well. That's what we have tonight, Tim. We're at Somerset. We've got live Danville Somerset coverage on HIR. We have Mercer County and Casey County coverage on WHBN. Boyle and Lincoln on Z105. Garrett and Marion on HometownLive.net. Peace, love, and Zaxby's. Good luck to your favorite team tonight. We'll see you next Friday back home at Admiral Stadium on the Zaxby's High School Football Preview Show on 103.9 FM WHIR and 99.5 FM WHBN.